Hello crafters, and welcome to the Primrose Motif from the 2024 VVCAL. This motif has some interesting techniques with puff stitches placed in a different way, as well as popcorns and treble bobbles and 2DC clusters. So we've got a lot going on with this motif, and I'm going to jump into the video so I can show you exactly how it's done. So I'm going to make a slip knot and then chain 3 and slip stitch into the third chain from the hook to make a ring. And into my ring, I'm going to make a beginning double crochet, which is just without chaining up, a single crochet and chain 1. And now I'm going to make a puff stitch around this beginning double crochet, treating it like if it was a chain space. So I'm going to yarn over and just go under that stitch. You can brace it with your finger here if you like, because it's the first stitch. It feels a little awkward. Pull up your loop and then just keep doing that back and forth, and you're going to do that 4 times total for your puff stitch. And just hold on to your ring here. Once everything gets going after this stitch, it's going to be much easier. The first stitch going around that beginning DC is the toughest one. So I've got my puff stitch on the hook. I'm going to yarn over and draw the yarn through all the loops on the hook. Just grab that puff stitch because it doesn't really have anything to hold on to since this is the first one. So just get your hook through all the loops here. There we go. All right, so now I've got my first puff stitch around my beginning double crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1 and make a double crochet in the ring. Okay, so double crochet like normal, and this puff stitch is going to be much easier. I'm going to go ahead and yarn over and work around this double crochet just like if it were a chain space, and just make 4 passes and then yarn over and draw the yarn through all the loops on the hook. All right, sometimes you have to just rock the hook back and forth to get through all your loops, but you'll get there. Okay, so I'm through all the loops, and now I'm going to chain 1. And I'm just going to do that 4 more times until I have a total of 6 puff stitches, and I'll show you how that looks when I'm finished. All right, so I have 6 puff stitches now, and I'm ready to close the round. I've got chain 1 here, and I'm ready to close. So you're gonna find this chain looking part right here at the top of your puff stitch, and then go ahead and make a slip stitch in that chain. And that's going to be a good place to close your round. And then you can see how this center ring of puff stitches looks. Here's how it looks on the final motif. It's just a cute little ring of puff stitches there. Now they're kind of like offset because they're worked around those double crochet, so it looks neat. All right, so we're going to slip stitch into the next chain space to start our next round, and then single crochet without chaining up and chain 3. And then just go into the next chain space, single crochet and chain 3 all the way around. Single crochet, chain 3 until you get back to the beginning, and then just slip stitch into the first single crochet. All right, I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet to close my round, and now I just have a round of chain spaces to work into. Okay, so for round 3, I'm going to make popcorns. So it looks like it's cupping, but on the next round, we're going to have 2 popcorns in each of these chain spaces, and it's going to make it lie flat again. So don't worry if it looks like it's cupping like this. Okay, so into my chain 3 space, I'm gonna make a beginning popcorn. So I'm gonna make a single crochet, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets, which is like beginning double crochet and then 3 double crochet. I'm going to release the loop from my hook and then go with my hook front to back through the chain of that beginning double crochet, grab my loop and pull it through to the front to close my beginning popcorn. Now chain 3 and then make a regular popcorn in the same chain space. So I'm going to do 4 double crochet and then release the loop again and put the hook front to back through the first double crochet, grab my loop and pull it through to close my popcorn. Chain 3. And now in each chain space around, I'm going to make popcorn, chain 3, popcorn, chain 3, so that I have 2 popcorns in each chain space, and all the popcorns are separated by chain 3. Okay, and I'll do my last popcorn here to show you how that looks, and then I'll show you how the entire round looks like when it's complete. Okay, so here's where we are so far. And so I'm going to just complete the round and show you how that looks. Okay, so my third round is complete now. I do have to join, and I wanted to show you that I join into popcorns. I join into the chain that is after the popcorn. And I find that that just makes a more even spread of these chains before and after. So that is going to be the finish of our round 3, and I'm ready to start the next round. Now this next round has treble bobbles, and a lot of times people like to work these from the wrong side because they find it's kind of hard to make the treble bobble pop out if you work it from the front. I do have a different motif in this, the daffodil that has the treble bobbles. That's what they look like, and I do work this one from the wrong side in the pattern. So I just wanted to work the treble bobbles from the right side in this pattern so that I could show you that you can do them both ways and you can decide which one you like more for the future. So for this one, I'm going to keep my motif with the right side facing, and I'm just going to make a single crochet in the chain space, and then I'm going to make a treble crochet stitch. And you can see that the treble crochet stitch kind of leans to the side because it has a single right before it. And then with my finger, I'm going to push that treble to the front and then go on the other side of it in the same chain space while it's kind of squashed down to the front and make a single crochet. And in that way, I'm able to make that treble stick out from the front, from the right side of the work. And you might find you just cannot do it and you've got to flip your motif over and work this round from the opposite side and then turn it back for the next round, and that's totally fine. Both ways will work. I'm just showing you this as a different way. Now I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to do that in all of these chain spaces around. So just single, treble, single, and then chain 2. Okay, you can see my 2 little treble bobbles. All right, and I'll show you how that looks when it's done. All right, so here's my round complete, and I've joined with a slip stitch in the first single crochet, and we've got 3 more rounds to this. We haven't made this a hexagon yet. It's still a circle, and the next round's still going to be a circle as well. So I'm going to slip stitch in the first 2 stitches here, the next 2 stitches, so that I'm over to where my chain space is. And then in my chain space, I'm going to make a beginning 2DC cluster. So I'm going to do single crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet. And that's like a beginning DC and a regular double crochet next to each other. And that's going to make my first 2DC cluster. And now I'll chain 2. And then 2DC cluster in the same chain space. So yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop, draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and then just repeat that. Now I've got 3 loops on the hook, draw the yarn through all 3 loops, and that's your 2DC cluster, chain 2. And now in all of the chain spaces around, I'm just going to do 2DC cluster, chain 2, 2DC cluster, chain 2. All right. And that's how we're going to look all the way around. Okay, my round is complete here, and I joined with the slip stitch in my beginning 2DC cluster, and you can see we've still got a circle. Now on this next round, which is the second to last round, I'm going to make this into a hexagon. So what I'm going to do is in my first 3 chain spaces, this one, that one, and that one, I'm going to make 3 single crochet each. So So I'm just going to go straight into making single crochet. Okay, 3, and then 3 in the next chain space, and 3 in the next chain space. All right, so there we go. And then I'm going to chain 1. And now in my next chain space, I'm going to make this right here, but I'm going to do chain 1. 2DC cluster, chain 1, 2DC cluster, right in this next chain space. Okay, and I'm going to chain 1. And now in my next 3 chain spaces, I'm just going to go into this repeat of 3 single crochet in each of these next 3 chain spaces. And you're going to see right away it starts looking like a hexagon once you make a couple of your corners. So now I've got my next 9 single crochet there, chain 1 in my next chain space, 2DC cluster, chain 1, 2DC cluster, and then chain 1. Okay, so we've got a hexagon going here. I'm going to show you how that looks when the round is complete. All right, we have a pretty hexagon now, and I joined with a slip stitch in the first single crochet there, and now I'm ready to finish my final round with single crochet. And this is going to have 84 total single crochet. In my next stitch, I'm going to get started with single crochet in every stitch, and so that's going to be 8 single crochet since I started in the next stitch. And I'll show you how that looks there so far. Now I've got my chain space, and I'm going to make 1 single crochet in that chain space. And my next chain space is going to be the corner, so I'm going to do 3 single crochet there. Work into my next chain space with 1 single crochet, and then just across these 9 singles, just go ahead and work single crochet in all of them. And you're going to keep going around in that way, making sure to put 1 single crochet in the chain space before and after the corners, and 3 single crochet in the corner chain space. Okay, and just continue around in that way, and once you have your final round of single crochet, you'll see it firms up the hexagon shape even more. I'll show you how it looks when it's complete here. And this has been the Primrose motif from the 2024 VVCAL, and I hope you enjoyed this week's hexagons. I'll see you next week.